Arr, grog.
Hello everyone, welcome to the AlistairTedder podcast. I'm Matthew Weir. Joining me, Keri Warbis. How are you, Keri?
Hello, I'm good, thank you so much. Yes, having a lovely time of it. Still not working, so, you know, what's not to like about that, really?
The amount of DIY which must be going on in your place now. So you're off the scale. Have you built an extension yet?
I shouldn't I? No, it was more painting today. I'm enjoying painting woodwork today and listening to podcasts. The rest is history is still my current listen. I also watched my daughter's flight, you know, where you can do those flight tracker things and you watch a little bright green aeroplane go across a screen. She's landed in Denmark today.
Oh, where's she going, Denmark?
She landed into Billund Airport and she's currently in, now I wish I knew how to pronounce it. It begins with a V. It's something like
E-sandwich?
Vegelar or something. Hang on. She had to go to Stansted.
Ugh.
Exactly. I treated her to a taxi to Stansted from Brighton and back. Vejle.
Okay, I'm not going to even attempt the pronunciation of that.
I would imagine it's something like Vela. To visit her friend who lives out there with her Danish mother and grandparents. So
flew into Stansted in about 87 before it was a commercial airport because our flight got diverted from Bristol because of fog coming back from Mallorca, I think. Obviously, they couldn't get us into a London airport, so they landed us at Stansted and it was just barbed wire fences and army trucks.
Oh, no.
And we couldn't get off the plane because it was that thing. We were thinking, like, I remember Dad saying, we'll be in bed in an hour as we were coming to land into Bristol. And the next minute, they're like, nope. And we had to wait for ages, and then this coach driver came and picked us up. My dad seems to remember he was quite hammered and kept falling asleep at the wheel, and my dad had to keep going down and nudging him.
No. God, the 80s were a different time, weren't they?
They were.
Yeah. I've never been to Stansted Airport, but I just hear horror stories about having to get there from here. And that, you know, like when you land there to get back to Brighton, it's like Ball Lake, not like Gatwick. Anyway, she's there. She's gone to Denmark. She's there for like a week. So I enjoyed an empty house. My son was at work and she was in Denmark.
Okay. Naked painting then?
No, because I had some Amazon deliveries coming, so I daren't risk that.
No, okay. All right. Let's have a little break while the listeners think about that, and then we'll be back to back to cover what's been going on.
Back to earth with a bump in Ambridge, yes.
Out on the water, yeah.
Hello there, Celia Sparrow here. Just wanted to say a big thank you to all of those who voted for me in Ambridge, Massive Crotchley and Penny F*** It. I will serve you loyally. And even if you didn't vote for me, actually no, if you didn't, you're dead to me. As early as Friday, my team were out and about, delivering on our promises. A surprise dawn raid at Bridge Farm allowed us to seize all cheese production, board up the viewing window, and melt down all of Tony's trains. We know you didn't ask for that last one, but we got carried away. Fallon Rogers has now been given complete control of the tea room with immediate effect and has government permission to destroy any sprout strudels still on the premises. Tom Archer was fed into his sausage machine, and all of Pat's soup was taken, along with every last gram of Borsetshire Blue, and then stored safely underground in a lead sarcophagus at the former nuclear bunker in Darrington. 2 workers from the dairy, Susan Carter and Clary Grundy, were freed of their duties and released back into the wild in Leaders Wood, where they have already found mates. I would ask one more thing. To anyone still out there with any Bridge Farm products, we urge you to bring it, as part of an amnesty, to our campaign office. If you don't, we will find you.
Should we start on Sunday, Alistair and Denise, on the boating pond?
God, I actually... Is despise too hard a word at this point about this couple?
No, I don't think so.
Good. Well, it began... The key observation I had was they were in this boat on a lake and there were ducks quacking and I could not discern between the quacking of the ducks and her laughing.
Oh, yeah, you tweeted me and said, will I create a game called Duck or Denise?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure you haven't done that.
Welcome to Duck or Denise.
No, I haven't.
Oh, God, they are making me so cross at the moment for so many different reasons. For one thing, like, why? I know it was Sunday, so they don't have to be at work, but Alistair, as part of this boating thing, which he said that he'd arranged because he needed to see whether he could cope on water again after his PTSD from not really doing much in the water anyway when the crash happened. Like, get a grip. And he was saying, like, they talked about swimming, didn't they? And he said, I'd like to see you swimming in the Mediterranean. I thought, fucking hell, she's just been to Spain, then on this training course. Does she ever work, this woman, at the moment?
It's a very incognito spot, isn't it? To sit yourself in a boat in the middle of a flat piece of water where you can't hide and can't run away.
Yeah, I mean, they sort of implied it was out of the area. I don't know which body of water this is in Borsetshire.
Strange choice for me.
Is there a body of water on the map?
Well, let me just check.
I mean,
Well,
have you ever looked at a map?
there is a lake, isn't there?
Is there?
It might be at the golf course, yeah.
Oh, that's funny. If they're in, they're just actually on a boat in the middle of the golf course. One of those like water hazard bits, which
Justin's
is
there like, do you mind if I play through? Oh, it's Arkwright Lake, of course.
Oh, yeah. Is that within visible viewing of any buildings at all?
You could be on top of Lakey Hill and look down on it.
Or up a tree?
Yes.
Oh, look, Ed, I see Alistair and Denise canoodling in a bloody dinghy over there on the golf course.
Neil and Susan found one more balloon voucher in the back of the drawer. Oh, Neil, look down there.
Or George's drone, which he suddenly seems to have.
Or maybe George has managed to install a camera in a duck.
Yes, they do have those. What are they called? A decoy duck, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, it's actually John swimming along with a duck on his head.
Imagine if he just emerged in his cycling gear with a duck on his head.
Because of course he's never out of cycling gear, is he? No. Even if he goes to work, he wears cycling gear. Like whatever he's doing, always fully lycra'd up, isn't he?
Before I get into this next criticism, I've got a vague memory of you not liking sushi.
Oh God, no, I love it.
Okay, that's all right. Anyone that says, I like my fish cooked, thanks, is up there with someone who orders a well-done steak and says, I want my meat cooked.
Oh, and you thought I was one of those, did you, Matthew? Thank you.
No, I knew you had the right opinions on meat, but I had a vague memory of you saying that you weren't too keen on sushi.
No, I tell you what, though, with sushi, I love it, but I haven't had much of it. Maybe that's what you've remembered. It's not a thing that I think I've had it about 2 or 3 times in my whole life. And that's going out to restaurants to have it. I've never bought sushi from a supermarket or anything like that. I always just think it's not going to be as good. When you get people they get it for their lunch, don't they? And I just think, no.
Yeah, I wouldn't get it in Boots.
From Morrison's.
No, I mean, I'm not casting aspersions about Boots sushi here. I just, go there for your toothpaste and your deodorant, not your sashimi.
I mean, they do a good meal deal in Boots, but...
The good meal deal you get is if you get out of there alive, isn't it? Wasn't there some issue with their sandwiches?
Oh, God, really? Is it E. coli salad related at all?
They recalled a bunch of sandwiches, as far as I remember.
Well, you're in the right place if you feel ill in there, aren't you, really?
I guess, yeah.
They sort of just push you towards the pharmacy counter.
Yeah, we suggest you eat those in the store. Oh, the other thing, chocolate strawberries, no thanks.
Strawberry's gorgeous, isn't it? Sort of unadulterated, maybe dipped in a bit of sugar. All this balsamic vinegar nonsense. Oh, it was just very classic, ripped clumsily, wasn't it? They were lying down looking at clouds and going, ooh, that one looks like... Who was it? Jacob?
I was a bit freaked out at the beginning of the episode because you just heard Alistair go, I've got another one. And Denise went, really? Already?
Oh, well, I mean, they have shagged, haven't they? This was confirmed because this is perfect, being in your arms, looking at clouds and laughing at Jakob. And when he said this is perfect, she went, so was last night. And he went, it really was.
What you need is the boating lake attendant with his megaphone going, 69, 69, come in, your time is up.
The main thing about them is that they're adults. They could wait for all of this if she only had sorted out telling John weeks ago. I might be all right with them, but they are boring as well. That's number 2.
She said to Alistair, if you were with me all the time, you'd get bored. It felt like the listeners are all raising their hands going,
we're already there,
we're bored
love.
now, mate.
Yeah, this is your exciting stage and we're f***ing falling asleep.
Do you know what's really bugs me about this now? Because Paul comes along and he walks into the shop while she's having biscuit chat with Joy and Jazzer. At one point she was like, Jazzer, why are you looking at me like that? She obviously didn't know that Jazzer was in on it, I presume.
Yeah, which made her suddenly take John to the bench outside the shop and say, I'm leaving you because I'm shagging your boss.
What I thought was going to happen, though, because at one point he kind of looked Jazzer up and down and went, yeah, all right. Practically said to Denise, who's that? I thought he was going to storm back into the shop and say, it's you, isn't it?
Aww.
And confront Jazzer.
Joy was funny as well, wasn't she? She's like, oh, what a lovely couple you make. You know, you with your cycling and with a dance fit. She was practically sort of having a wank over them. Yes.
She said, working off your calories. And she went, thanks, Joy.
Yeah. And then she was peering out of the window at the bench activity because it was like she didn't know him enough to be able to read his facial expression as to whether or not he was pissed off. And it's like, well, he's crying at this point, Joy. So I think that's quite universal.
Did you get the lip service to the listeners? But in particular, probably the tweet along. Jazzer said to Joy, MI5 won't be calling you anytime soon.
Oh, yes, because there's many a rumour that she is a spy. She's the next James Bond, basically. Yeah. Joy Bond.
Licensed to what?
It's gossip, really, isn't it?
I guess, yeah. How does this affect Paul and Alistair's relationship? Because obviously we're doing the main body of this on Thursday. I mean, imagine shit is hitting the fan tomorrow.
Bloody hope so. Because Alistair had a bit of a convo with Paul intimately. Because Paul was going, oh, I remember, you know, I'm a bit of an old soul and I can remember my parents, you know, sitting on the sofa eating crisps, I think it was, and I was in between them and they were holding hands and I now wish I'd let them have their own space, but, you know, felt a bit guilty. Also, there's a sister.
Yeah.
Carla suddenly appeared, who's travelling the world and really like her dad, no nonsense and very self-reliant or independent. The more I hear about John, the more I really like him.
I thought Alistair was just going to lose it. High five for cock blocking him, Paul.
Yeah, because Paul just basically, every time he speaks to Alistair, somehow massively bigs up his dad and his mum and dad's relationship. Well, we can't all be like my mum and dad. Maybe I've set my bar too high. And Alistair's just like sort of digging his fingernails into his palms, isn't he?
So a couple of weeks ago, they were just watching Spring Watch or something, and Alistair went, sounds cosy.
Yeah.
You're right, Alistair. You seem to have gone very red.
And also Paul said, oh, my mum's always there for me when I have my troubled times. You know, the other day when she was having a special time with her friends, I thought, that's when she was with bloody Alistair.
Yeah.
I honestly despise this sort of duplicity. Paul is going to find out quite soon that loads of conversations that he's had with Alistair had a massive sort of backstory to which he was not privy. And that's not on. Don't like it.
And the other thing, if they are out in the open and everyone knows, we're not going to get this amazing expose as part of the trial.
Yeah. And I also did, what occurred to me as well when listening today to this week's episodes was, okay, John must know that Denise and Alistair were involved in this crash. Surely someone has said, oh, poor Alistair and Denise had to rescue people. Like Paul must have mentioned it. Why didn't John think, well, what were you doing with Alistair in the middle of the night in a car? You know.
Wasn't they were coming back from a training call? Oh, they were coming back from an animal call out. That was why Mick was brought in to lie.
Yeah, that's true. Who did they tell that to, though? We haven't known that John was told that, but I suppose, yeah, that's perhaps what they said.
No, he told Paul, and Paul was like, "Okay, I need to fill out form B3796A," and he was like, "What?" And he was like, "And I need to know.
Have you got a photograph of the sheep?
Yeah,
please?
and your GPS. Check the GPS on your phone." Come on, Alistair, are you shagging my mum or what? I mean, why are you so nervous?
On that photo of the sheep, is there today's newspaper visible in the same shot, please?
So yeah, that was their alibi, wasn't it?
I guess, but and Denise only told John on the bloody bench because Jazza was being Jazza, going, "Oh, saw Alistair yesterday. He's looking really happy, and so are you." Nudge, nudge, wink, wink. And it made Denise kind of leave stuff on the counter with joy and dash out and go, "John, get on that bench. Need to tell you something." So she wasn't even going to bloody do it.
There is one little factor of the Alistair and Denise story still left to cause ruptions, and we spoke about it last week. Joy will discover that Mick was covering for Alistair, and that's why he got the bottle of whiskey. So he's been lying.
Yeah, good. Mate.
Pack up your mobile home.
Hopefully when she's ironing his shirts, she'll just they'll have those massive brown iron-shaped triangles on every item of clothing.
Quite right.
And he'll be history. I cannot wait for him to not be in our ear holes.
You have to choose one to leave, Ambridge, Adam or Mick?
Mick.
Yeah, I thought so. You like keeping Adam around, don't you?
Well, he's part of the furniture. He's literally a piece of furniture. He's some sort of bench. I don't know. He wasn't in it, was he, so far?
No, he got a little mention with the whole stables thing. Justin was saying to Lillian, when she said, I wanted to be a good aunt to those children. And he said, you've been a good aunt to those children. Alice, Kate, Rory, Debbie. Adam too.
An afterthought.
That other bloke, you know.
Yeah, who's he? He doesn't think of him as human, you see. Speaking of afterthoughts, I bigged up our election special on Twitter and Blue Sky today, sort of saying, it's coming, it's nearly finished, the edit. Watch this space for our Patreon people. And I'd added in, I said it was me, I said it was you, Rick and Tonk, Jeff from Ambridge on the Couch, and I forgot about Peter. How awful is that? And then I quote tweeted saying, I've forgotten about Peter, and Lucy Speed liked it. So I think she's a big Peter fan.
It's like up there with forgetting about Dre.
Is it?
Maybe not, I don't know. Well, we started the stables. Let's finish it.
Yeah, so it was Lillian's birthday. She had nail jewels on.
Of course she did.
Yeah. Oh, I got carried away. She was playing down her birthday and saying, it's just another day. We'll carry on working. But the minute Justin said after the birthday coffee, birthday croissants, I was thinking, is there birthday toilet roll and birthday sort of pants or something that she normally uses?
Where are you going, Justin? Oh, I just thought play golf. Is that birthday bullshit?
Birthday golf. He did then say he'd got her a present, and she were perked up then. Oh, you've actually got me a present. Oh, God, if you're surprised that your husband has got you a bloody birthday present, again, another black mark against this couple, really.
They're the Harrods equivalent of Stockholm Syndrome, these two.
What was the birthday present, actually?
We didn't hear, did we?
What on earth would it have been?
It's a duck you can put on your head, Lillian. You're going to love it.
It won't have been very personal, and I bet it wasn't very carefully thought. It'll be a dinner somewhere, won't it?
Well, when they had their breakup at Christmas, he bought her some amazing jewellery, didn't he? And she said, it's beautiful, but sorry. That was when she had a backbone.
Ah, yes, she did only let him kiss her on her cheek. And he said, "Oh,
Yeah.
I'm still in the doghouse, aren't I?" Was it her arse cheek? I don't know. As it's a birthday.
That's on his birthday, isn't it?
Possibly. Anyway, so Carlotta, she featured quite a lot. She's doing a great job, but Lillian received a birthday card from Carlotta and she was like, "That was you, wasn't it, Justin? You're trying to get her to be in my good books." So she just suspects everything that happens around her as being some kind of manipulative move by Justin. How lovely is that?
Carlotta's shortening of names hasn't gone down very well at first. And surely you just call her Carl back until she stops.
I mean, it's not Carlotta's fault, any of this, is it, really? I mean, good on her for doing a good job. Well done, And she's come up with the relaunch, which has got to thank all our customers for their patience whilst we've given all their horses strangles, which normally would be something Alice would arrange, of course. It's going to have some sort of competitions, and it involves gold, silver and bronze medals. And Justin went, "Wow, have you not heard of gold, silver and bronze medals in competition?"
Maybe they're real gold.
Oh, could be. So, and then they don't know what to call it, do they? There's very bad names. Grand Games Ambridge. That trips off the tongue, doesn't it? What on earth are they talking about? Saddle Up Ambridge and Back in the Saddle Ambridge.
It's like someone's trying to create a new Archers podcast. I want this to happen, and I want Kenton to kind of be commentating on the day when the horses, like these kids on ponies, are racing around the track.
They don't half love a sort of like relaunch event thing. Like, just say, "Okay, we're open again. Everything's fine." Is that not enough?
I think it is quite true to life that they would do this to try and publicise themselves. I know schools that are like private schools here, they try to do that at the beginning of the new term, or they already start doing the promotion and open days and stuff.
What, for horses?
Yeah, come to the school and meet. Do you know how to use the present perfect tense?
No. And Lillian, she feels guilty, doesn't she? Because she's like, whilst loving Carlotta and her efficiencies, despite shortening names, she got a message from Alice saying that she loved her and happy belated birthday, and apologising for what she'd put her through in recent months. And she was all tearful. "I'm so glad she doesn't hate me." It's like, oh gosh, she was really making it about herself.
Alice got a mention elsewhere. According to the programme notes, on Monday's episode, Chris pops round to see Emma and George, but he didn't. He called, didn't he? I wonder if they had to rewrite that at the last minute.
On Mondays?
Sundays.
Sundays. Okay. Yeah, he rang about Martha's arrangements, didn't he?
Yeah, apparently in the programme notes it says he shows up, which he didn't.
Because he was very appreciative of Emma's help. And Emma, being Emma, sort of went, "Oh, you're doing such a great job considering you're on your own." And he went, "There are two of us. Alice is in rehab."
Yeah, and George was just within earshot.
Yeah.
And she went, "Oh, Sherlock Holmes, stop going on about your fruity cider in the car, which Alice definitely crashed and is guilty and should change her plea."
And she would never drink it. Yeah.
Yeah. And George went, "What's all that?" And she went, "Do you want penne or fusilli, George?"
And which they'll definitely be fingerprinting soon, along with the seatbelt adjustments and the position of the seat and that, which won't be what Alice would have done herself. George is so like, he's not worrying enough about this impending court case, is he? All he wants to do is be topless with kitten. He's like a sort of an Athena poster, but being filmed apart from his sore back that needs calamine lotion. He just keeps filming everything. He's just getting the likes for Tilly Button, isn't he? He doesn't seem to be having any discernible major worry about court.
The moment they found those kittens, Neil said, "Oh, go get George." I was like, he's going to put it on social media. Don't do that.
I still cannot fathom this YouTube site that he has and the content that's on there and how anyone would be looking at it.
I mean, there are those kind of TikToks and those kind of Instagram stories for sure. That guy that runs the farm where he keeps all the animals in one barn, have you seen that? And he opens the door in the morning and they all come out and he says hello to them one by one.
Is this on TikTok?
He tweets it out. It's completely chaotic. You've got like sheep, horses, emus all coming out, and he knows the name of everyone.
That doesn't sound like it could possibly be real.
It's totally real.
How can you keep all those animals in one barn?
Well, you'd have to ask this guy. He does it.
What's he called?
Well, I can't remember off the top of my head. It's called something farm.
Is it? Okay.
Yes, there you go, Keri. I got my Sherlock Holmes on.
Oh, well, maybe there's a massive bloody audience for this sort of shit. I'm not one of those audiences.
No, we know you're not an animal type, Keri.
No.
Although you did quite like the video of the deer I sent you.
Yeah, I'm quite good at pretending.
Yeah, thanks.
No. No, that was quite...
Deer have showed up in Dad's back garden for the first time ever, which is a bit freaky. It is turning into the telltale cider, though, isn't it? It's getting to him.
Oh, yeah.
What did you think of the dynamic between him and Ben? Ben just doesn't stand for any of his shit, does he?
Well, you say that, but he seems to be bloody filming all the time and sneaking off to, sort his back out and things. Neil and Ben are not really whipping him into shape. He has little, not digs even.
Ben told him to slow down because the tedder was Victorian, I think. And then when it broke, he called Neil and he went, you could hear Neil go, "Everything okay?" And Ben in the background, that would be a no.
Yes.
He had lots of little digs that he kept putting in, didn't he?
Yeah, but Neil was okay about it, saying, "Oh, well, it was past it, really, and we'll just get a mechanic to sort it out."
Good job,
Ben
Tony.
did say, I told you to slow down.
Even Neil told him to keep it down, didn't he?
I think he seemed to speed up when he got a reply from Tilly Button.
Yeah.
So his priorities are clear.
I'm going to see what this baby can do. Let's get it up to 4 kilometers an hour.
And your dad has a tedder in his garden or something.
I'm sure there's a tedder there. I mean, they do the hay baling, but somebody else comes in and does that for them. I will try and dig out the video of the hay baling from last year because it was, as Neil described it, it was quite idyllic with the children having fun. And I don't think anyone was sat on a hay bale drinking beer. But normally at this time of year, what they do is after they've baled all the hay, they pull out the garden furniture and they go over and sit in the field in between it all. And they have like a ploughman's and drink a load of wine and beer and sit there and take it all in. But I gather the weather, even though Neil was praising the sunshine and the weather, it's not quite the same story over there at the moment, is it?
It is here in Brighton, but overall, we haven't had what feels like a summer, I wouldn't say. But today it's been glorious. I liked, because Neil was being he was waxing lyrical, wasn't he, about what it used to be like and the whole experience of the haymaking. And Ben then joined in saying he reckons his patients would benefit from being outdoors and perhaps not using a tedder, I don't know, but great outdoors is quite a healing, refreshing salve, isn't it?
You having a flashback, Grandad?
Yeah. Do you know, I thought this week's episodes were really well written. They felt very natural, the conversations, the dialogue. It's Naila Ahmed this week until tonight's Thursdays, which was a bit of a weird one, I thought.
It starts with George, Ben and Neil again when they're filming the kittens, right?
Yeah, and loads of Pip and Stella stuff. It was all sort of a bit bitty, Stella was doing her BL board talk, wasn't she, wearing Hannah's clothes?
Yeah. When she got home, it was trying to get her to come over and eat a boatload of Thai food and plan a hen night with Lottie or something. Isn't it? She said, no, I just want to get in. I thought she said, I want to get into Hannah's clothes. I want to get out of Hannah's pantsuit and into her PJs. I mean, my PJs, Pip. I'm not coming over.
Yeah. Into Hannah's pants. I mean, out of her, pantsuit.
But Brian did say originally this is just greenwashing when they gave her that job. And she said that all that happened in the meeting was Justin and Martin were laying into Brian the whole time. Yeah. I feel something is going on here.
Yes, and I'm glad she's witness to it as well, because she's the kind of woman who will go, enough of this, and call it out at some point, I think.
Just to go back to the George thing, at the end of the day, Neil brings out the beers and some fruity ciders
Whoop, whoop, whoop,
that
whoop.
Susan had brought because they were on offer in the shop.
Mm-hmm.
Why have you left the cider for me? Well, you like cider. No, I don't. Never touched it. You drink it every day, George. No, I don't. Don't like it at all. Why are you saying that? And then goes tears off his trousers as well and starts running across the field.
Why are you two drinking beer and you've left those for me? You've been treating me weird all day. What? Are you okay?
I thought it was a good job Tony hadn't popped up to see if they had any hay, because at one point Neil said, "Oh, nothing beats seeing your kid out there on a tractor."
Oh,
Oh, sorry, Tony.
quite a few things beat seeing your child squashed by one, though, don't they? But what about like Pip? As you did touch upon it there, where she rang and said, actually, I was going to do the voice, but she's not using that voice anymore, is she? It seems.
No.
But she did say, like, I've bought loads of Thai food. It's like, well, you didn't bloody mention that earlier, did you? A bit of a guilt trip, that. She rang her earlier, then she rang again. I know it was to wish her luck, but it's like, can you imagine? Right, try to imagine, Matthew. You're going about your day.
Okay.
And your phone rings, and it's Pip.
All right, I'm in.
And then a bit later, a couple of hours later, your phone rings, and it's Pip again.
Stage just getting better and better.
Oh, shut up. She's just like a bit clingy, isn't she?
I thought the interesting point was she played the whole wistful martyr thing again, didn't she? When she went, oh, the luxury of a day off. And Stella went, yeah, what would you do if you had a day off? Oh, Rosie would just fill it up with shit anyway, and then I'd probably miss work. And Stella was like, yeah, exactly.
You'd hate it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was really like, oh, still in bed? Like, God, blimey, just get away from me. It's like on her case all the time. And yeah, I know she rang to wish her good luck with the meeting, but just drop a text. Bit intrusive, being called out of nowhere. Hate it myself.
Sorry, Keri.
Because you've called me out of nowhere.
I call you out of nowhere occasionally, don't I?
Yeah. But it's normally because something's brewing, isn't it?
I always ask in advance, don't I?
Yeah. Yeah.
I feel.
Yeah. I sent you that thing, didn't I, about people, different generations, like Gen Z, Gen X, millennials, and how they might sort of appear at your home. And so Gen X, which is what we are, we would sort of like plan in advance when we might be coming round. We check a couple of days beforehand, say, is this still okay? Whereas the millennials, you'd never really hear from them, but they'd then on the day start sort of sending you pictures of their entire journey to your house and still not knock on their door. You'd just get a text with a photo showing that they're outside. Whereas boomers would just rock up at your home without warning, sometimes pre 7 a.m.
Yeah, I've got I honestly, no, I'll tell you off air about boomers from the country, because that's a whole other thing.
Yeah, okay. It did make me think, though, that Gen X thing of like the planning, the checking, which to me seems perfect common sense. It does make you think, well, just because I do it and I feel like that's good, it doesn't necessarily mean like it's right, does it?
No, and yeah, most of that rang true. Particularly they said the millennials hope you cancel.
Yeah.
It's totally true. One of the things I was told that will happen in Brazil, and they said in no way take offense at this. Brazilian people, when you kind of meet them for the first time or the second time, they'll be like, hey, we should really go for a drink. And you say, oh, yeah, okay. And they have no intention of doing it.
Oh, I thought that was a British thing.
Well, maybe, but in Brazil, they tend to notice it a bit more. And they said, like, that'll happen. No, if I say we should go for a drink, I follow through. I invite all of the listeners for a drink next time over in England. Come run through the hay with me like Theresa May. Oh, it was wheat. It was wheat with her, wasn't it? Oh, she won't be doing that anymore. She's gone to the Lords. For more of that political astute analysis, you can listen to our patron special, which should be out later today.
This week on the Cider Shed Patreon. Election Night Special.
I have a horrible feeling there's going to be an enormous sense of kind of sadness straight afterwards once Labour win. A bit like if
Only you would say that, Pete.
No, but just a bit like you've had sex and then afterwards you realise you probably shouldn't have.
Yes, but what should you have done? This is sex that we should be having. Well, let's enjoy the sex.
True. We're still massively horny now to keep the house going. And we'd probably bang any old wronging.
That is exactly what's happening, isn't it?
I'm at the holding the headboard stage right now, to be honest. Oh, 2 minutes. That must be 10 o'clock. Can you?
3, 2,
The
1.
bells are ringing here.
Right.
Yeah. Polls closed.
Right. Have you two put out your a glass of brandy and a carrot for the reindeers and all that sort of stuff?
Oh my God.
What's happened?
Look at that.
410 seats for Labour, 131 for the Conservatives.
So, shall I call out my voters?
Yep.
Susan Carter.
Yep.
Reform.
I think Susan's giving Rishi another chance.
Lib Dem.
These were Peter's ones, by the way. He said reform.
Vince Casey. Reform.
So Vince, right? Let me do Vince. So I think Vince has voted Reform, but told Lizzie that he voted Labour.
Peter said reform.
Oh, definitely right wing. At least Tory, possibly Reform.
Peter said reform. Ding, ding, ding.
Yeah.
George Grundy. Reform.
George hasn't voted.
George will be swayed by promises that people can't possibly keep, I think, and he's enough of a misanthrope, I think, probably to vote Reform as well.
Yes. Ding, ding, ding.
Tom Archer. Conservatives.
See, I think Tom is Labour, but I think Natasha is Tory.
What about Tom?
You love him.
I mean, there's a decent chance he's going to eat the pencil as well, isn't there? Just oh God, Tom.
He's just giving everyone he doesn't like Tory, isn't he? Or Reform.
Reform have got 4, Labour have got 4, Tory have got 4, so they're going to have to form a coalition in Ambridge.
Okay, I'm changing Tom, Emma, and Alice to Reform.
Yeah, you want reform to be the predominant party in Ambridge.
It was a heartwarming news earlier, by the way, with I don't know whether you saw this or not, of Chris Grayling being elevated to the House of Lords.
No. What?
Did you see that? Yeah,
No.
Chris. He's now Lord Grayling of Catastrophe.
I was about to say good Lord, but I should say bad Lord.
Yes, I think
Giant Haystacks is on this.
Oh, look at that other independent one, got 32. That's his,
Don't laugh,
that's
Kerry.
his family, though, isn't it?
it is. Yeah.
Well done on no longer living in a fascist shithole, Keri. Congratulations, Matthew. You can fly home with a slightly lighter heart from now on.
Rick, we're going to let you go and enjoy yourself, all right? Thanks so much for coming on.
No worries. Thank you very much for having me.
Right,
Very
anyway, I'm
strange.
going.
Yeah. Thanks for joining us.
It's
That was
been a blast.
fun.
It was fun. Thank you for inviting me. I've had a lovely time.
Oh, goody gumdrops.
Join us today and catch this extended episode over at www.patreon.com/The Cider Shed.
This weekend, don't miss Borsettshire's oldest musical event, just outside of Ramsbury.
Sounds a bit like Glastonbury to me.
Yes, it does a bit, doesn't it? The Wrinkley Music Festival, featuring all your well-aged local artists. On Friday night, come see a blistering all-hits set from Jill Jizzle and the Lemon Drizzles. Then on Saturday, back for one night only, Peggy and Jack. Remember their classics? They don't. And to close the show, back despite popular demand, everyone's favorite pony, Bartleby,
Oh, for fuck's sake.
showcasing his new project with the Stranglers.
Hello, Wrinkley. Are you ready to fucking rock? Oh, my arse.
The Wrinkley Music Festival. Bring several large plastic bags from Underwoods, because the queue for the toilet will be brutal.
Keri, are we Team John?
Yeah.
How quickly have we turned against Alistair and Denise? Because I feel that the night of the awards, with Alistair writing the speech for Jacob, Chelsea getting out the vintage dress and playing Lizzo, at that point we were like, run, be free, Denise, and be with her, Alistair, and get away from this cruel, cold, cycling machine,
Cyclist.
John. And now...
Yes, but not by having an affair. Like if, as Denise has been saying on Friday's episode, that this has been, it's been a broken relationship for years and years and years. Why has she not voiced it? Because John seems to be completely polaxed by this, and like he just sees them as having got into some sort of comfortable era. He did not think that they would be splitting up, and I just think that bench chat was so casual.
I thought it could be, when she spoke about it before, I thought it could be one of two things. Either their relationship had just petered out, or that he was bad at DIY, because she said it's like a massive hole in the kitchen floor that you don't talk about.
He's too busy cycling to fix anything. I just don't think that they should have slept together before speaking to John. She's only spoken to John because of Jazza. Now, it was quite interesting, the atmosphere with Alistair, Paul, Denise and John in the same room.
Yeah, I get the impression John is towering over Alistair, don't you?
Well, Alistair's gone all a bit, have fun. He's gone a bit wimpy.
Have a great time. I imagine he's doing the pointy thumbs. Yeah. See you later.
And he's sort of like, would you like me to come with you to Denise? I mean, good God, it's a family evening, isn't it?
I could wait the table if you want.
And Paul is utterly oblivious. He's he's done starters. He's really put an effort in. He's clueless about this. And it's a shame we have to wait now for either, the conversation around the dinner table when John did say we've got a family stuff to talk about.
Yeah, this has totally ruined the Wrinkley Music Festival for Paul, hasn't it?
Yeah, right. So it's called the Wrinkley Music Festival. Does that mean it's all old folks playing in the bands?
I was being cheeky. I think it's actually Winkley
Music
Festival at Ramsbury. But there may be an ad this week for the Wrinkley Music Festival.
Okay. But where's Ramsbury?
Let me just check the map again, Keri.
Yeah, please do.
No,
I'm surprised you don't know straight away. And I like how it's got Bury at the end, like Glastonbury.
The Straw Crows are playing, aren't they? Which has the flautist that Josh has got woodwind for.
Yeah, it's all so mental, isn't it? Yeah, Paul's dead excited about going to that, living his best life since Etienne.
Everyone's going, aren't they? Because they said Molly told Tilly, Lily's going with Aidan Belshaw. Josh is going because the Straw Crows. Fred is going to go. Actually, I'd love to go to this thing with that lot.
Oh, yeah, that'd be good, wouldn't it? Will Mick go?
Yeah, Mick will be roadieing for Green Sabbath.
Humping that flute flight case left, right and centre.
Do you know, I'm looking here. I can't see Ramsbury in Borsetshire in the standard map.
Are you trying to tell me they're going to a different county?
I think they might be.
Jesus Christ.
I mean, the extremities on this map, you've got Manderton Cross, Whiteley, Paxley, Kittymore, Croft, Queston, Herrick, Gretham, Francester.
Shitage. The lot of them.
People who aren't patrons will not have any idea what just happened there, Keri.
Oh yeah, we sometimes play a game where Matthew reads out pretend village names and real village names, and I have to say if it's a village or shitage. Quite why it's kind of Frenchified is a whole other matter.
It evolved, didn't it?
Yeah, it did.
There's a place just east of Darrington called Netherbourne. I like the sound of that.
We've heard that before, I think. Haven't they got a cricket team?
Yeah, I mean, all of these. Paxley are right out on the edge, and they were having the I think they were playing cricket or football the week of the wedding between Ed and Emma that we listened to.
On the edge of the flat earth.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm a bit concerned because it's not on this map. I need to see a larger map.
Need.
Yeah.
Then we had Stella and Pip, didn't we? So Stella, she had that tough time at the BL board and she's wondering whether or not to pursue this non-executive role because it really has zero clout, according to David. But with a little persuasion by Pip, she's having second thoughts, third thoughts. I'm not sure which number, but she's thinking, well, actually, no, I will get in there and try to persuade them about things. And I think Stella could be a really good convincer. She's quite persuasive when she gets going.
Yeah, but there's this continuing fear that there is like a poisoning of the am style incident coming later down the line that they're going to need Stella to firefight for, aren't they?
Well, the greenwashing thing. Do you think they might have
Redacted.
waste somewhere?
It's possible.
Yeah. What do you think? I really hoped. I had this glimpse, I think it's wishful thinking, where I thought Stella was getting pissed off with Pip and so would take her to the bench outside the village shop.
Is that what happens on that bench now? There's a little plaque on it.
Yeah.
Should you wish to dump your partner, just come and sit here.
But quite the opposite happened, really, didn't it? Stella was like, oh, she couldn't wait to see Pip and wanted to get a takeaway and go round to have that at Pip's. And Pip went, well, actually, I've invited us, all three of us, round to Mum and Dad's. And
It's the voice back.
It was a bit, wasn't it, on Friday? And then Stella went, oh, right, okay, yeah, great. So Pip once again had just railroaded the arrangements. David polished off the excess Thai food.
Well, we don't know it was David. Could have been Rosie. It was a boatload. Anything else that jumped out at you?
Not especially. It was just really sort of concern for Paul now. His world is about to be shattered.
Yes, and we're only going to hear about this in... Oh, I found Wrinkley. So why did they say
Put that at the
Ransbury?
end of the episode with an echo on it. Where is Wrinkley then?
It's in between Atherton and Gretham. It's kind of exactly southeast of Ambridge.
Between what now? Never heard of it.
It's much closer to Felpersham than...
Oh, no, I've heard of that.
It is to Ambridge.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
But,
It's funny, we've never heard of this before, have we? This festival that everyone loves. I do hope that we get to hear some of the festival.
No, we won't. It'll be Saturday, won't it? And then Sunday, we'll just be hearing the aftermath of the festival and the fallout of Denise, Paul, Alistair and John. I think that's what we're going to get. Tell you what, John, when he moves into his bachelor pad, he's never going to have a inspirational quote poster on the wall, is he? Because Denise said, well, if something's that broken, that's reason enough not try to fix it. And he went, did he say that? He said, live, laugh, love. Was that Alistair, was it?
Prosecco o'clock.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's him, isn't it?
Got to walk through the rain to see the rainbow. I'm going to kill that fucking vet.
Oh, God. It's fun, isn't it? I'm sad that John may not be around for much longer. That's, I wish Denise had off, to be honest.
I'd much rather have him now in the village.
Yes, I think, do you know, Denise is bloody rude, I think. She was rude on the bench, really sort of like cocksure because she's the one having the affair. Like,
let me just check the map. Rude on the bench is just above Tenbury.
I just thought she was very considering, like, put yourself in John's shoes here, not the cycling shoes that get stuck in the pedals. But honestly, she was so like, oh God, you're so annoying that you won't just let me do this. You haven't had a proper conversation about it. And then today, on Friday's episode, she was rude again when he said on the phone, well, you need to tell Paul that you've been shagging your boss, to be honest with you. She's like,
Yeah.
oh, what will I say? It's like, your bloody problem, isn't it?
Didn't he say you have to own it?
Well, she does. Yeah, now, she's been in the sort of afterglow of fun times. Now reality is biting, and I like that.
Have there been any fun times? I must have missed that.
Oh, thinking that Jacob's a cloud or something. That was as fun as it got, really, wasn't it? And the perfect lovemaking, of course. Dread to think about that.
Oh, God. Okay, there's our cue to take a break.
If you're tired of ducking for cover every time you're having an affair, if you're sick of trying to hide your love away, then why not try Horny Duck Lake in Tickle Under Gooch, just off the B457 near Felpersham. Take a listen to our satisfied customers, whose voices have been replaced by actors for their discretion. Adam Macy said,
"Whenever I felt like logging off and doing Charlie, I headed straight for Horny Duck Lake."
Sabrina Thwaite said,
Derek Fletcher and I would often frequent Horny Duck Lake after passionate parish council business, which is a bit ridiculous when you think about it, as no one knows who the f*** we are anyway.
Brian Aldridge said,
"Love it. Been 172 times. 5 stars.
Horny Duck Lake. Come take the plunge today. On your first visit, we'll pick up the bill."
Keri, we did, as we've already mentioned, an election night special, which came out on Thursday. Peter came in and told us who he would and wouldn't in the Tory party, as did Keri and I as well. Rick came in to tell us all about his tales of boating, what's wrong with the Rex storyline, and meeting Gavin Williamson in South Staffordshire, which is obviously lovely. He also went head-to-head with Keri over Leeds postcodes. Did you like the wrong buzzer that I created with Sean Bean for that?
Yes.
And then Jeff, otherwise known as Febreze from On the Couch, came in as well.
Yeah, he was just very jolly. I mean, everybody was really on form, I thought, in their own ways, weren't they? It was really nice to speak to everybody.
Yeah, and it was, it was an evening to enjoy, wasn't it? They don't come around very often, those type of evenings. So
yeah, it's good fun to listen to, and it's quite big, but I listened to it all today, and it was bloody hilarious.
If you want to listen to that and all the other midweek specials we've done in the past, you can become a patron at www.patreon.com/The Cider Shed. 3 people who did: Ben Blakey.
Welcoming Ben Blakey into the Cider Shed patron.
Badger!
Thanks so much for supporting us, Ben. You're a star.
Ooh, thank you, Ben.
When I hear Blakey, what do I think of, Matthew?
On the buses.
Yes, thank you.
My friend, when he first started running a pub in Bristol, someone said, "Have you got a good fruity in there?" And he said, "You wait till you see the fruit machine I got, mate." And we went, and it was On the Buses. And you'd be halfway through, and it would start shouting like quotes from On the Buses. I mean, this was like in the late 90s. Where the hell he dug this thing up from? Brilliant. I'll never know. But yeah, thanks, Ben Blakey. That's who I think about now when I hear Blakey, not On the Buses.
I'll get you.
Yeah, he used to shout that as you were
can't
like...
remember the name. He'd say, "I'll get you, somebody." Who was it?
It was the Reg Vardy character, wasn't it? He was yelling at
Butler,
that's it.
Stan Butler.
I thought Olive was meant to be hot when I was a kid.
Well, yes, she is, Matthew. I love her because she's got those thick jam jar glasses on, the real deadpan facial expressions that barely ever change. And best of all, she eats pickled onions in bed.
Anyway, we digress. Thanks, Ben Blakey. Next up, becoming a patron, Sophie Holford.
A big cidery hello to Sophie Holford.
Badger!
Thanks so much for becoming a Cider Shed patron.
Woohoo!
We are here at your service.
Thanks, Sophie.
Thanks, Sophie. Thanks so much for your support. Really appreciate it. And finally, Karen Haggerty.
Badger!
Stop, everyone. Karen Haggerty has just entered the Cider Shed Patreon. A big thank you to you, Karen. We're so thankful for your help.
Woo!
Woo, Karen, thank you. Like I said, that's where you find us. Go to our Patreon page if you want to get all of those bonuses, etc. And you get the pod early and ad-free.
It's only a couple of quid.
That's true, it is. So Keri doesn't get to see these, so I'm going to let her know what people had to say about the election night special. Louise said, "Thank you. My goodness, you guys work hard for our that's in brackets, sanity."
Yes. And contribute to your insanity.
Robin Ben said, "May I express my cephalogical delight at this midnight politicking? Thank you, Matthew, Keri and Peter." Yeah, related to the time it was released, I guess, yesterday. Kate said, so wonderful to hear Peter's acerbic tones once more. Nina said, "Peter!" And then she said, "Thank you all for this. It has amused me greatly whilst off with an injured back. Really appreciate all you do." Audrey-Anne said, "If only you could do the same for the US presidential election."
Well, maybe we can, Audrey-Anne.
Yeah, but we'd know even less.
Yeah.
But there's only two people to focus on, aren't there, really?
And what two people they are.
I think they might be replacing one of them after yesterday. Trudy said, "Finally, I have been waiting impatiently." Pat Brown, this was in relation to what Rick had to say about the Victoria pub in Leeds. Pat said, "That's great news about the Victoria. I live in Leeds and didn't know it had been saved. Such a beautiful pub." And Rick has confirmed it reopens in September. Rev Rob UK said, "I missed out on the live event as I was unconscious in hospital at the time." Oh no, you were saying you hadn't heard
He's
from
gone
him.
quiet. Oh my goodness.
Get in touch, Rob.
I'll message him.
Yeah. This will be more entertaining than the real thing. Yeah, I don't know. We can't really recreate. We were on air when Grant Shapps lost his seat, weren't we?
Yeah, I mean, we did it from about 10 p.m. to about 4:30 a.m.
Yeah, we started just before the exit poll with Peter, and we clung on, or he clung on, more to the point, until almost, it was gone at 11:30, wasn't it? Which was very, very late for him. And then, yeah, we resumed around midnight, and then I think we spoke to Jeff around almost getting on for 3:00 our time.
Yeah, I didn't go to sleep in all that time, did you?
No. Helen Davis, "A great listen. Thank you for your dedication to the cause." Joe Graham said, "Shocked at Keri's Tory crush."
Listen, I had to pick somebody. It was the rules. And I'd like to hear what yours is, Joe.
To which I replied, "Biggest Tory shock of the night, am I right?" And Joe has replied, "Yes." And I'm now going to like that yes. There you go, Joe, you get a like. Miss Seamlessly.
Could bring up yours at this point, Matthew.
Could, but it's not in the comments, is it? Ms. Seamlessly said, "Kindred spirits, thank you all." Lynn Bird said, "Surreal listening a week later. I would have listened to you live on the night, all night. My husband wants you all arrested for all the Tory sex talk."
Maybe next time we'll do an all night.
Yeah, I think it's just going to have to be coffee. Yeah, well, if fancying Nadine Dorris is wrong, I don't want to be right. Keri.
Yes.
How can people get in touch on some of our socials?
Yeah, follow us on Twitter at the Cider Shed Pod and on Blue Sky, which is at the cidershedpod.bluesky.social.
Okay, you can also join our Facebook page, which is the Cider Shed Podcast. All you need to do is answer an incredibly easy question, which I sometimes let people in, even if they get it wrong. If I like the cut of your jib and your answer is appallingly funny enough. Is there any other socials? We haven't, have we?
Well, 5-star reviews are always welcome.
That's the other way you can support the pod. Write us a 5-star review. That really helps us out. I guess that means, Keri, that we didn't get any this week.
We haven't, no. So chop, everybody. I hate this bit. I'm really shit at sort of selling or anything like that. But if any of you can be asked to do a 5-star review who haven't already done one, it would be hugely appreciated. Just sort of go ace with an exclamation mark. Something like that anyway.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, you say you're not good at sales. I'm penning a review right now, Keri. So if you see a review that just says ace, it's not from me. I didn't write it, okay? In fact, I'm completely unable to write reviews on Apple. I've never figured out how to do it. So I sympathise with all the people who say they can't.
You can review us on Spotify as well. and I think other places and all.
Okay, well, Keri and I are going to disappear into the weekend. I'm going to try and get this up as early as I can for patrons. And anyone, let us know what you would like to hear for our midweek time travels when we go back and listen to a previous omnibus. I thought it might be fun to try and find the oldest one on there.
Yeah.
And do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so let us know what you would like to hear, and we will try and do that on the Patreon. So, thanks everyone. Hope those of you that hear the Electron special enjoy it, and the rest of you will see you next week.
Yeah, come on, England.
Oh, yeah, that too, yeah.
Where will you watch that, Matthew? Just
probably here.
Yeah.
Probably at home. Yeah.
It's exciting.
Are people there actually excited? I heard that there wasn't much... All right, okay. I heard that this is probably the least excited people have ever been for England in a tournament.
Oh, it's all been a funny route to the final. But, on our family guessing, scores and things throughout the competition, guess who was the only person who put that England would win the competition?
You?
Yep.
Okay. All right, everyone.
Let's hope it happens.
Okay, see you later.
Bye.
Bye. Oh, I found Wrinkley.